I am about to show you what's inside these two boxes. You get sent these two amazing boxes from Bonnie Christine when you enroll in her Surface Design Immersion course. But first, you need to understand why these represent something so much bigger than just beautiful course materials. This year, for the 8th time, I have blocked off my calendar from February 17th through the 24th. And I have to say, this year feels different. Bonnie Christine has completely reimagined her Surface Design Immersion course from the ground up. And after you hear what's changed and why it matters, I think you'll understand why I would not miss this for anything. Stay with me until the end because I'm going to open these two boxes and show you the amazing materials inside. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm doing a video podcast for the first time. And if you're new here, I'm Anne La Follette, and I teach creative women over 50 how to turn their art into income through surface pattern design. Now, 8 years ago, I had just gotten laid off from my fancy corporate job, and I did not know anything about surface pattern design, and I certainly couldn't even open Adobe Illustrator. I had no idea how to create a repeating pattern, and the thought of trying to pitch my work to manufacturers, that terrified me. Then I discovered Bonnie Christine and her Surface Design Immersion course. Bonnie took me from a complete beginner to a confident pattern designer with my own collections of fabric, wrapping paper, and other products. And it's not just me. She's taught so many of the surface pattern designers that you probably follow and admire. And that's why I call her the GOAT, the greatest educator of all time in the surface design space. But here's why this year is different. Bonnie told me something in a conversation recently that stopped me in my tracks. She said this year is about meeting the moment that we're living in right now and supporting students the way they want to be supported. And I think that she's really onto something. So lean in and listen. Something fascinating is happening in our world right now. I think you can feel it. Barnes & Noble, for example, is opening more bookstores than ever before. Backyard chickens are having a moment. People are baking bread or spending more time cooking. And there's this beautiful return to all things analog, all things tangible, all things that we can touch and hold. As Bonnie explained to me, and this is a direct quote from our conversation, she said, if we're going high tech, we've got to figure out how to be really present in the real tangible life that's in front of us. And that is exactly what she's built into this year's immersion program. The course has literally moved from Bonnie's studio into her garden. Her garden is where so many of her designs are born, inspired by the flowers and the plants that she grows there. But this shift is about so much more than just location. It's philosophical. And let me explain what Bonnie calls the full circle. You start by living your life. You gather inspiration from the real experiences that you've had or continue to have, hikes, visits to botanical gardens, museums, your own backyard. You create motifs or doodles or sketches by hand, right? And you don't have to have fancy drawing skills, just your unique way of seeing the world. You bring those hand-drawn elements into Adobe Illustrator. You learn to digitize your artwork and build professional repeating patterns. This is where technical mastery happens. This is where you gain the flexibility to license your work if you want to do so. Your patterns come to life on physical products that you can hold, bolts of fabric that you can turn into quilts, wallpaper that you can put on walls in your house, stationery, gift wrap, like I have a bunch of examples behind me. things that exist in the real world, and things that can be passed down through generations. This is a full circle moment that makes surface pattern design so special. We're not creating just to create. We're making tangible beauty that lives in the world. Now, I want you to hear directly from Bonnie about how she's approaching this new teaching style.
Thing we focused on is like get online, get the information, then get off the computer and go do. So it's very like documentary style. It's very like we're getting messy hands together. So anyways, I won't say more yet, but it's like the whole concept is to get you on the computer, let's learn, and then let's go get you taking action.
Immersion is both comprehensive and an experience, and it's an experience like none other. If my Pattern Design Academy is like earning your bachelor's degree in surface pattern design, Immersion is like getting your PhD. It's 8 weeks of in-depth training that takes you from I've never opened Adobe Illustrator to I have a portfolio of professional collections. But here's what I love. It works beautifully as a next step for my Pattern Design Academy graduates, and it's perfectly designed for complete beginners. You don't need to take my course first. You don't need any experience at all because Bonnie starts from absolutely zero and builds systematically. The way she teaches emphasizes getting your hands involved first, doodling, making squiggles, shapes, marks. Then she shows you how to digitize them, how to build them into repeating patterns, how to create collections, which is really important. And those collections tell a cohesive story. As I mentioned, the course runs for 8 weeks and you get lifetime access to all of the course materials. That means you never need to rush and you never need to feel behind. And this year's documentary style approach means less time staring at your computer and more time creating with your hands. One of the things that I appreciate most about Bonnie is how she's built genuine support into every aspect of her immersion program. She has the Love Squad. That's what they call the community and the women inside it who specifically support you when you get stuck. It's unlike anything I've experienced in online education. You also get live Q&As where Bonnie and her team of experts answer questions in real time. And these aren't just quick responses. They dive deep. They troubleshoot your actual files if you need it. They help you work through the messy middle of creation. You can also join a study group, and these groups are known to stay together for years. It's incredible to have that ongoing connection with women who understand this journey intimately. What really stands out to me is that when you visit Bonnie's enrollment page, there are real team members available to chat with you. They are not bots. They are not AI-generated people. They are real people who can answer your questions and help you figure out if this is the right fit for you. That level of care and accessibility is really, really valuable, and you should take advantage of it. The lifetime access that you get means that you're part of this community forever, and I know that you're going to fall in love with Bonnie as much as I have. You also can revisit the materials as you grow, ask questions as new challenges arise, and continue learning alongside thousands of other creative women at every stage of their journey. Surface pattern design isn't just about making pretty things. It's about creating artwork that generates income. And surface design immersion covers 3 essential areas. The technical training. You master Adobe Illustrator from the ground up. You learn to create repeating patterns that delight. You build full collections. You develop a professional portfolio. These are the skills that transform amateur enthusiasm into professional capability. The second thing is the professional training. You'll understand how the industry actually works. You'll learn to negotiate contracts, protect your copyright, pitch to manufacturers, and also potentially hire a licensing agent. You discover the real opportunities in fabric, wallpaper, stationery, gift wrap, home decor, and so much more. And the third aspect is the emotional training. This might be the most important part. You build confidence. You overcome imposter syndrome. You learn to stay focused on your one thing. You develop resilience when facing rejection, and Bonnie teaches you to manage your inner critic and trust your creative voice. Now, I know many of you are worried about artificial intelligence. Will it replace human creativity? Should we even bother learning this? Bonnie just got back from the world's largest licensing expo in Las Vegas, where she had never exhibited before. And what she learned there should encourage all of us. Let her tell you directly.
It is so fascinating because I had the same hunch and it didn't get really solidified until I went to the expo. We were exhibiting at the world's largest licensing expo. We had this 600 square foot booth, and we're presenting my artwork patterns for products. And we very much leaned into story-driven work, the inspiration behind my work, and I was stunned at how all of so we spoke, and we had over 100 sit-down meetings, but we spoke with hundreds of brands. And it's like the conversation always came back to like, tell me more about the story, tell me more about the inspiration. And could we put that on the product? Could we put that on the end cap? Had one person ask me if we're not going to do this, but they said, can I just fly you to New York so you can tell that story in person? Like the story driven focus was immense. And not one time did AI come up. In fact, the other representation there are art agents. And we've spoke with maybe a dozen art agents, and every single one of them told me that they were in need of story-driven artwork. And so I saw this thing the other day that really resonated with me, and it said, good designers are going to be replaced by AI. And how that means like good, meaning like the best designers are going to earn more revenue than ever. Because that level of good that AI can replace or pump out with no soul, no story, it's going to replace people who don't really know the craft, who don't really know the art, don't really have an eye for design. But my goodness, the people who learn the craft and learned the workflow and learn how to just infuse their work with soul, they are going to be in more demand than ever because there's also going to be fewer of them than ever. I think that's my hunch. So, yeah, overwhelmingly just not a concern. I mean, at this point, obviously we're on the cutting edge. Like we're leaning into learning and listening, but from everything we've heard from brands, companies, art agents, most of them are putting AI policy in place. So no artist, no design under their umbrella is allowed to use AI in any part of the process.
Manufacturers want to know about your garden, your travels, your grandmother's quilt, your daily walks. Artificial intelligence can't replicate that. It can't create the depth that comes from a life fully lived. I am 68 years old, and I know that age is just a number. But when Bonnie and I talk about this, she shares something really beautiful about generational creativity. She told me about the quilts in her home that have been passed down through generations, from her great-grandmother who sewed, to her grandmother who worked in a fabric store, to her mother who owned a fabric store and made every school outfit, every prom dress, even Bonnie's wedding gown. She said, and I'm quoting directly, I think with any of our students, but especially those who have really truly lived, they have so much reference material to pull from, and so much wisdom, and so much experience that can make their work so incredibly rich. She told me about a print that she created from her husband's grandfather's 1916 journal. Just entries about going to church, about snow on the ground. It's now available globally as a pattern. She called it This Moment in Time Captured Forever. That's what we're doing when we create patterns. We're making physical expressions of creativity that will outlive us. Whether it's on fabrics that become quilts passed to grandchildren, or wallpaper that transforms a room for decades, or gift wrap that carries birthday wishes, our artwork becomes part of people's real lives. For those of us in our 50s and beyond, this work carries particular meaning. We have the richness of experience, the depth of perspective, the accumulated wisdom of years fully lived. And these are not limitations, they are superpowers in the creative world. I believe in Bonnie Christine. I believe in her immersion program. I believe in the power of creative women to build meaningful businesses from their art. And that's why I block off my calendar every February to support her. That's why I dedicate these days to helping you understand what's possible through this program. That's why I'm here again telling you this. This year is different. This year is special. And this year matters. The reimagined course, the garden-based approach, the hands to computer to hands philosophy, it's all designed for this moment we're living in. This hunger for tangible creativity, this need to make beauty we can hold. Enrollment is open right now through February 24th. The doors close and they won't reopen again until February of 2027. If you've been curious, this is your moment to check it out. I've put the link to Bonnie's enrollment page in the description below. Her team is available on that page to answer any questions you have. They are real people ready to help you figure this out if it's right for you. And I'm always here too. I'm happy to share my experience. Just drop me a comment below or send me an email and I'll get back to you. But mostly, I want you to know it's never too late to create, which you know is my motto. It's never too late to learn, and it's never too late to build something meaningful from your creativity. The garden is calling. Your hands are ready. The full circle is waiting to begin. Now, drum roll, please. Let me show you what's actually inside these boxes. This is what arrives at your doorstep when you enroll in Surface Design Immersion with Bonnie Christine. There are actually two separate boxes. And the first one has a really beautiful note on the front of it that welcomes you. Obviously, it's written by Bonnie. And it has a beautiful quote on the back. This gorgeous, gorgeous box, it's very, very heavy. It contains the workbook. So take a look at this. This workbook is gorgeous. It's full color. It has an amazing, really heavy duty linen cover, front and back cover. It has some additional course goodies inside. These are what you open each week as you go through the program. They're in a really beautiful little envelope on the inside cover. This is organized by module, so you can see that it has tabs along the side, and this is really heavy duty. It is a beautiful spiral binding, gold spiral binding, so that it does not fall apart. And it has all of the materials in it, as well as a lot of ways where you can actually work off the computer so that you're spending less time on the computer. So isn't this gorgeous? Unbelievably gorgeous. I'm going to put it back in its beautiful box. And that is not all. You also get, and this is brand new, you get the Inspiration Collection, which is a mood board kit. So this box has all of the materials that you need to actually create your own mood board. So when you open it up, it says there's a quiet kind of magic in creating something from nothing. Can you see that quote on the inside of the box? It's gorgeous. And then there are all of these supplies. She gives you watercolor paper. She also gives you some collected ephemera that you might want to use, like some postcards that might inspire you. She also includes tracing paper, which is also super helpful, and you'll see how she uses it when she's actually showing you her process inside the program. There is a cute little cork board for you to use to put all of the elements on that you decide you want to use. She also has just some really beautiful colors. You could cut these out and decide which ones you want to put on your cork board. And then she has both a fabulous brush and a pencil. And there's also a few more treats in here. They're push pins, of course, because you need push pins. There's a little black watercolor right here because she recommends that you do your watercolor work just in black, because when you bring it into Adobe Illustrator and you digitize it, it works best if you just start with either just a black pencil marks, or black ink. And she's also included a few little velvet swatches for you to use. So isn't that sweet? It's a great example of how she wants to help all of us spend more time actually creating with our hands as opposed to being on the computer all of the time. As I said before, this isn't just a course. It's an experience. It's a commitment to yourself. It's Bonnie saying, I believe in you, and here are the tools to help you succeed. These are physical tools you hold in your hands while you're learning. And this is the tangible analog experience that we talked about earlier. And it's built right into the course materials themselves. If you've been waiting for a sign, consider this. Enrollment closes February 24th. The link is in the description, and I would love to see you there. I'm a very proud affiliate of Bonnie Christine's, which means that if you enroll, I may receive a commission at no extra cost to you. Bye for now, and I'll see you next week. And remember, it's never too late to create.